hey guys, nice to see you back. Today we're going to be looking at Sein Und Zeit. And before we go any further, in my previous video when I said the name of this episode, I got two very different comments that made me laugh. The first one, for 26 years I was wondering how to pronounce next episode title. And the second comment, good lord, please don't butcher the German language like that anymore. Ah, the duality of man. But seriously, when I saw those back to back, I could not help but laugh. But anyways, airing February 6th, 2000, Sein Und Zeit follows Mulder and Scully as they investigate the bizarre disappearance of a little girl and how her disappearance may be connected to Mulder's sister. The episode begins with little Amber Lynn Lapierre saying a nice little prayer before bed, which is very sweet. I sure hope this isn't the little girl that goes missing, though there's something about her father that seems a little familiar.
Weapon on the floor!
This is great.
I usually need to watch something for more than 20 seconds before I can call it great, but I'm a little bit hard to please. Dad hears a door slam shut, but it clearly wasn't his wife. She's too busy writing a ransom letter. Wait, what? Well, I'd be getting glasses after that one. No one shoots at Santa Claus. Well, they better not. I'm still waiting for my copy of Castlevania 4. Wait a minute, doors don't usually close on their own. And I told Amberlynn not to bring strawberry jam to bed? That's weird, I could have swore she was there 30 seconds ago. Mulder decides to get himself involved in this case because anytime a young girl goes missing, his PTSD goes through the roof. Why doesn't Skinner just take him off the X-Files and put him on missing children cases?
The agents in my office, they have a pool going.
I think she's dead.
Wait a second, do you really want FBI agents betting on whether or not a kidnapped little girl is dead? How the hell did Skinner not put a stop to that, like, I don't know, immediately? Meanwhile, at Woodsboro High, I'm not sure what it is, but this shot feels like it was lifted from Scream. Mulder speaks to the parents of the missing girl, asking them about the note that was left and what happened that night.
I was watching TV in here.
What were you watching?
I never heard of it before. It was good.
Well, I'm glad Dad remembers the show he was watching was good, and not what happened to his daughter. However, unlike her husband, Mom has no recollection of anything besides already being in bed. I guess I'd forget that I wrote my own daughter's kidnapping letter too. Later that night at Bates Motel, Skinner's lap dog Scully comes in so she can tell Mulder Skinner isn't happy he's getting involved. Could Skinner not just tell him himself? Mulder's convinced the parents aren't responsible, despite Mom writing a very disturbing letter, and he's convinced Amber Lynn isn't dead either.
That little girl in California, you're out there, aren't you?
Yes, I am.
Does the whole Mulder family freak out every time there's a kidnapping? Like, I get it, but maybe you guys should get some counseling or something? The FBI go over the mom's note believing she's the one who wrote it, which we already know she did, but Mulder has to throw his 2 cents in, basically shutting their theories down that the parents are responsible. I don't know if you've noticed, but so far this is a very cheerful episode. And by cheerful, I mean because Mulder pulls another kidnapping letter from years prior, which also references Santa Claus. So clearly, this is a Christmas episode. Okay, where's a wood chipper when you need one? The following day, Mulder speaks to Kathy Lee Tenkate, who had a similar experience with her son back in the 80s.
Now there's a phrase down here at the bottom. No one shoots at Santa Claus. Can you explain what that means to me?
It means if you shoot at Santa Claus, you're gonna end up on his naughty list, and you don't want to be on his naughty list. Regardless, Mulder's convinced this woman didn't kill her son either, though I don't know why. What, because both letters used the same phrase? What if the first letter had been plastered all over the 11 o'clock news? Anyone could have seen what she wrote, and they could have done the same thing to try and fool authorities into thinking that they didn't kill their kid. Scully seems to be in agreement because she thinks both parents killed their kids, or are at least responsible in some way. Huh, well that's weird. My dead son usually only visits on Saturdays. In the meantime, Mulder's mom leaves him a vague and weird message on his answering machine, and on top of that starts burning all of their pictures for some reason. Mulder speaks to the Lapierres again because he has something they should probably see. Oops, that's the wrong tape. Here, I think it's this one.
And I know you're afraid of the truth because I saw things that I was afraid of too.
Okay, so Kathy basically tries convincing the Lapierres that she knows what they're going through. She claims something took her over and wrote the letter for her, and that their daughter, like her son, are safe and in a better place. That's all fine and everything, but that doesn't help these parents with the case put against them. Or maybe it did because the Lapierres were set free due to a lack of evidence. I feel like I'm watching something involving the Zodiac Killer and not the X-Files. Skinner tries giving Mulder crap for getting involved, but what's new? Anyways, Scully butts in, probably to tell everyone about her awful haircut.
I need to have a word with Agent Mulder.
It can wait.
No, it can't, sir.
What is it, Scully?
Mulder, your mom's dead.
Oh, that's a lot worse than a haircut. Couldn't they just get the alien bounty hunter to come back and heal her again? So this is kind of rough because now Mulder has to find out what happened to his mom. It seems fairly cut and dry though. Gas, pills. The real question though is why she would do this. Also, why would she destroy all the photos? She couldn't even leave those for her son? Mulder thinks his mom was killed and asks Scully to perform an autopsy, which would have to be the hardest thing Scully has ever had to do, no? Like she says, it's one thing to perform one on a random person, but Mulder's mom?
My mother's dead. You know why.
Why would this random woman know why your mom decided to take her own life? I mean, after everything you've been through over the years, this random kidnapping is what pushes her over the edge? Kathy tells Mulder that his mom saw walk-ins, these star children for lack of a better word, and his sister was among them. Now this just raises a whole host of questions, but we'll get to those. Meanwhile, the O'Doyle family have decided to take a nice trip to Santa's village. Why they're doing this months after Christmas, I have no idea. It looks like it's 90 degrees outside. Can we go to the beach instead?
Had a very shiny nose like a light bulb! Nose reindeer, you can't see it! Yes, I could! I can't!
Ah, nothing makes me feel that Christmas spirit quite like llamas and pedophiles. How does Dad not look at this guy and think to himself, you know, Harvey Weinstein here seems kind of creepy. Maybe we should have taken the kids to Captain Spaulding's Museum of Monsters and Mayhem. When's the last time this guy dusted? I get he's a serial killer, but he could clean up every now and then.
So many emotions in me, I wouldn't know where to start. So much that I've left unsaid for reasons I hope one day you'll understand.
You know, you still could have said whatever was on your mind, but nah. Traumatizing your son is much better. Mulder now believes the whole alien abduction thing is a fake, that his mom wrote a letter, blah blah blah.
That's why they killed her.
Your mother killed herself, Mulder.
Well, you probably could have delivered that news a little softer, Scully, but I guess at this point, being direct with this man is probably the best approach. Scully did perform the autopsy and found his mother was suffering from a horrible disease I cannot pronounce, and decided to end things on her terms.
He's trying to tell me something.
Well, at least he seems to be taking it well, all things considered. Man, this episode is depressing, good lord. Can I ask why it's just the moms that see their dead children? Also, what have you been doing at Mulder's all night, young lady? The agents speak with Bonnie Lapierre about her ghost child, and if this were old Scully, she would have been acting a hell of a lot different.
I thought she was saying 74.
74, the number 74? Does that mean anything to you?
Well, it should. 74 was the year we got horror classics like Black Christmas, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and of course, the cars that ate Paris. After speaking with the parents, Mulder now thinks the daughter is dead and asks Skinner for some time off. Considering his mom just died, you'd think Skinner would have given him the time off already. Wait a second, 74? Well, that leads right to Santa Claus. Does this guy not take care of this place at all? Hard to keep up on maintenance when you're creeping on children, obviously. The agents discover Santa's disturbing stockpile of tapes, and I really don't want to know what's on them.
It's Amberlynn Lapierre.
Somehow, out of all the tapes that are there, Scully manages to find the one tape featuring Amberlynn in her very first attempt. Somebody get this girl a lottery ticket stat. Santa Claus takes offense to the agents finding his video store of horrors, and now it's up to Skinner to take him down. Okay, Skinner, could you put a little more urgency into your running there, bud? I mean, you're chasing after a child predator, not competing in race walking. Look how quickly Mulder and Scully catch up despite being locked in a room. Oh, sorry, did you think we were getting answers in this one? Nah, we've got ourselves a classic two-parter here. Alright, so Sein Und Zeit is a strange one, because despite having to wait until the next episode to find out what happens, it still opens up some questions that I don't think make sense in the grand scheme of the overarching storyline. Now Mulder's mom was suffering from some horrific disease, so I can understand her not wanting to deal with it anymore, but why not tell Mulder about his sister before taking your life? Why not say, hey, your sister might actually already be dead? Kathy alluded to the fact that Mulder's mom Tina has seen them too, the walk-ins I mean, but did his mother only just recently begin seeing visions of Samantha? Was this something she always saw? Is this like when Scully began seeing dead people because of her worsening cancer? Was Tina's declining health suddenly allowing her to see her dead daughter? I mean, if she'd been seeing them all along, then that means she let her son basically ruin his life in search of something he'll never actually find. And this is already a woman who spent years hiding what she knew about the cigarette smoking man, her husband, and whatever happened around Samantha's disappearance. So if she knew Samantha was dead this entire time, why keep that from Mulder too? Why let him keep chasing aliens and government conspiracies when she apparently already knew there was nothing out there for him to find? Did the Amberlynn abduction and recent visions of walk-ins suddenly make Tina feel like she needed to say something to Fox, but then just end it all before she could even get the words out? It's very bizarre. And on top of this, how many times has Mulder been told his sister is still alive? The Samantha clones told Mulder she was alive, though they did admit to using him at one point. The alien bounty hunter told Mulder his sister was alive, and what reason would he have to lie? I mean, as far as he knew, Mulder was dead anyways. How many times has cigarette smoking man dangled the idea that Samantha was still out there, and that if Mulder joined him, they could be reunited? Okay, so maybe CSM would lie, but would Cassandra spend her? In Two Fathers, when Mulder asked Cassandra where his sister was, she said,
And where is she?
Out there. With them. The aliens.
Now you could say that Mulder's been manipulated from the get-go, but I just don't buy that every single person he's come into contact with has lied to him about his sister. It just doesn't make any sense. Plus we know Chris Carter and gang just make this shit up as they go along, so they probably forgot about most of these little threads anyways. So it had been a while since the show had really touched on Samantha, and with season 7 being talked about as possibly being the final season, Chris Carter and Frank Spotnitz felt it was finally time to resolve this long-hanging thread. According to Chris Carter, the expectation was that if this were going to be the final season, that the finale would be about Mulder's sister. We wanted to deal with that sooner rather than later. We wanted to wrap up Mulder's emotion story with his sister and do it in such a way that would emphasize David Duchovny's dramatic abilities. Now personally, I think this was a bad idea. Mulder's entire personal journey is his sister's disappearance, and once you take that out of the equation, what else does he have to drive him? But Carter and Spotnitz felt it was time to move on, and now Samantha is a walk-in or something. Interestingly, the term walk-ins actually first appeared way back in the season 2 episode, Red Museum, although the concept was described a little differently there.
Believers in soul transference, enlightened spirits who have taken possession of other people's bodies.
Blessed mission.
And what I find interesting is both episodes featured actor Mark Rolston.
That's good.
Now, what does this mean? Absolutely nothing, but I thought it was a fun little coincidence. And if you didn't know, the television show Rolston had to make sure we all knew was good was in fact Chris Carter's newest creation, Harsh Realm, which unfortunately for Chris had already been cancelled for 3 or 4 months. I guess this was Chris trying to prove to himself that his show was good, but he did cancel Millennium in favor of it, so he can go f*** himself. Like with all television shoots, there are often times where little problems can pop up. This episode, however, had a very unique one. You see, the ransom letter that is written by Billy LaPierre earlier in the episode was mistakenly picked up by someone on the crew. At some point, they stopped at a phone booth to place a call, and when they left, they accidentally left behind a file folder which contained the letter, a photo of Amber Lynn, and some other documents. Someone nearby who witnessed this crew member making their call felt they were acting suspicious and called the police. When the crew member realized they had screwed up, they went back to pick up the documents and were arrested by police. It took a lot of explaining to get themselves out of that predicament, and Kim Manners would go on to say the whole thing was a big mess. Sein Und Zeit currently sits at 7.9 on IMDb. While this episode is well acted and feels like it mostly exists to try and win David Duchovny an Emmy, the story itself has too many contradictions from things seen previously in the series and generally isn't one I go back to, so I would probably give it a 7. Up next, the truth about Samantha's disappearance will finally be revealed in the episode Closure. So what do you think about Sein Und Zeit? Let me know down in the comments. Anyways, that's all for today. Thanks so much for helping me get to 20K and stay spooky.
For 7 years, Agent Mulder has searched for the truth. Now, a missing child.
He's not dead, Scully.
You're personalizing this case. You're identifying with your sister.
Could answer
Your sister's among them.
all his questions.
Is my sister dead?
The X-Files, the first of 4 new February episodes, starts Fox Sunday.
Huge thanks to all my channel members. You're the real MVPs of the Spooky Squad. Your support helps keep the lights flickering and the monsters fed. If you'd like to join up and help support the channel, check out the join button below. But no pressure, just watching and liking helps a ton too.